Brothers and sisters, I want to say this. One of the reasons that we are losing as a race in this struggle for liberation against white supremacy, one of the reasons we are losing in this race in our struggle against white supremacy for liberation has to do with the fact that we are suffering from spiritual genocide. Spiritual genocide. Spiritual genocide. We have a lot of religion. We have a lot of religion. We have a lot of religion, but we don't have a lot of righteousness. We don't thirst for righteousness. I'm not talking about dogma. It don't matter if you Christian or Muslim. I'm not talking about dogma. It don't matter if you Nation of Islam or God and Earth. I'm not talking about dogma. It has nothing to do if you're a Nawapian or a Moor. I'm not talking about brands, titles, and labels. I'm not talking about brands, titles, and labels. I'm talking about the process. The process in the lifestyle of redemptive spirituality. I'm talking about the process and the lifestyle of redemptive spirituality. I'm not talking about a spirituality that accuses and judges other people while not looking at your own faults. I'm not talking about a spirituality that judges and accuses other Africans while not looking at your own faults. I'm talking about a non-denominational, spiritual, striving and thriving for the redemption of the soul. We as African people, we need that because we are suffocating from our idol worship. We worship white culture. We worship white lifestyle. We worship white cars, white communities. Anything the oppressor does, we want to do it. There's no way you can be on the side of the Almighty. There is no way you can be on the side of the Almighty while imitating your oppressor. Those two things cannot go together. They cannot go. You cannot be an imitation of your oppressor and claim to be a soldier in the Lord's army. Those two things cannot mutually exist. They can't coexist, brothers and sisters. See, the reason African people are not receiving divine intervention, there's a reason we don't get divine intervention. And the reason we do not get divine intervention is we are suffocating in a cloud of sin and idol worship, brothers and sisters. Our prayers cannot get up to heaven because they are being suffocated by a cloud of sin and idol worship. You are the reason your prayers are not being heard at the realm of the Almighty. We are at war with our own soul. Our flesh is warring against our soul. Our flesh is warring against our soul. And we got a nerve to try to act like we win in the war for the salvation of our spirit, and we are losing that war, brothers and sisters. You at the nightclub shaking your ass Saturday night, and then you go to church Sunday morning and think it's all good. You at the nightclub shaking your ass Saturday, and then you go to church Sunday morning and you think it's all good. Stop worrying about the saliva, my brother. Why you all in my mouth? Are you a beta male? Are you a rainbow ganger? Why you all up in my mouth, my brother? Are you under a zesty spell, my brother? Are you under a spicy spell? Why you all up in my mouth? Because I'm not worrying about what's coming out of another man's mouth. That's why we need them testosterone tablets. That's why we need them testosterone tablets. Too much beta, too much zest, too much spice, too much beta, too much zest, too much spice. All right, King, good to see you, man. Black power, yes sir, all day, every day. Appreciate you. So where was I? I'm not saying you are a sinner because you're going to the nightclub. I'm not saying you a sinner because you're going to the nightclub. I don't judge nobody. I judge myself. I don't judge other people. I judge myself. I judge you politically. I will never judge you morally or personally, because only God can see all 360 degrees of your life. I don't judge people because only the Almighty can see all 360 degrees of your life. I judge you politically, what you do and don't do for the people. I don't judge your personals. That's none of my business, because I can't see all 360 degrees of your life. All I'm saying is, we as American Africans, continental Africans, Caribbean Africans, Africans in Asia, South Pacific, Canadian, Australian, North and South American Africans, we have created this contradiction that we live with, where we can engage in sinful behavior. And because we go to church, or because we go to Friday Juma, or because we go to the Hebrew temple, or wherever you go for worship, you think you're good because you followed up negativity with positivity. You think you're good because you followed up sin with a little bit of sanctity. It don't work that way, brothers and sisters. It don't work that way at all. If you have somehow made a relationship with sinful behavior, if you have somehow made a relationship with sinful behavior, you can't be in the Lord's army, brothers and sisters. Yes, we will commit sin. We human, but you don't make peace with sin. You're supposed to make war with sin. You don't make peace with sin. You're supposed to make war with sin, and we got brothers and sisters making peace with sin. It's okay for me to cheat on my wife. It's okay for me to cheat on my husband. It's okay for me to rob, steal, kill, shoot, deceive people, as long as I follow it up with some worship. It don't work that way, family. It don't work that way. We got to do better than that. The flesh is weak. The spirit is weak. The flesh is strong. You got to build your spirit up. You have to build your spiritual strength. You got to build your ashe. The flesh is strong. It is through the five senses that every sin reaches you. It is through the five senses. It is through the five senses: taste, touch, sound, sight, and hearing. Uncle L.
What's going on?
It is through the five senses of taste, touch, sight, sound, and smell that we commit sin. You could not commit sin except for your five senses. So you have to discipline your five senses, brothers and sisters. My brothers, you got to discipline your eyes. You got to discipline your gaze. You know that woman married, you can't be looking at her curves, my brother. You know you married, you can't be looking at that sister Cinnabons. You can't be checking out her ice cream cones, my brother. You can't do that. Sanctify your eyeballs, Negro. Sanctify your eyeballs. You got to declare war against the sight that sins, or the smell. Black sisters, you might smell an African king and say, my goodness, and you want to commit sin with that married man. You can't do that, sister. You got to discipline your smell. Or you might hear some music that motivates you to engage in sin. You got to fight off that. In that touch, get your hormones going, get the testosterone and the estrogen You got to discipline the touch, brothers and sisters. It is only through the five senses that the devil can get you. It is only through the five senses that the devil can get you. Taste, touch, sight, smell, and hearing. And once that sensory information goes into your brain, your mind starts playing tricks on your soul. See, you got to make up your mind. Is your spirit going to run your life, or is your flesh going to run your life? You only got two choices. I don't care if you're a Muslim, Christian, Hebrew, African traditionalist, as I am, Seventh-day Adventist, Jehovah Witness, Nation of Islam, God and Earth, more Nawapian. Either your spirit is going to run your life or your flesh. That's it. That's it. Spirit or flesh. That's it. And if we as black people don't wake up, the Almighty will let this white man destroy us. The Almighty will let this brown man destroy us. The Almighty will let this yellow man destroy us if we don't get it together. When am I getting married? Who's asking, a male or female? Because I don't want no man worrying about when I'm getting married. Was that a brother or a sister? I don't know why y'all love my personal business. So what is it about me that you Negroes love my personal life so much? Somebody help me out. Y'all think I get all the women, don't you? I don't get all the women, my brothers. And I don't want all the women, because women are trouble. Women can be messy. Women can be manipulative. Women can be vengeful. Women can be underhanding. They can be beautiful. They can be righteous. They can be just. But you got to take the bad with the good. So I'm not out here stirring honey pots with my Shango stick. I'm trying to grow beyond that. I'm not out here stirring honey pots with my Shango stick. I'm trying to grow beyond that. I'm not out here stirring honey pots with my Shango stick. I'm trying to get beyond that. But my brothers, we have to be an example of righteousness to the young men. We have to be an example of righteousness to the young men. We have to be an example of righteousness to the young men. Black queens, Afro queens, you got to be an example of righteousness to the young princesses. You have to be an example of righteousness to the young princesses, because of a 12-year-old girl see her 60-year-old grandma shaking her ass on Instagram. If a 12-year-old girl sees her 60-year-old grandma shaking her Cinnabons on Instagram, she's going to think that part of being a black woman is objectifying yourself on white-owned social media. We got to wake up and get up. We got to stand up and push up. You understand? Righteousness. We all fall short. But you can't keep repeating the same mistakes over and over again, because that shows that there has been no spiritual growth. You keep making the same mistakes over and over again, that means there has been no spiritual growth. I ain't got no problems with Saquon Snow Bunny Barkley. I think he's the best running back in the NFL. That's my brother. I respect my brother. I disagree with his decision to marry out the race. Obviously, I don't tolerate that. You want me to pop in, Al? Yeah. So I just disagree with him politically. We can disagree without being disagreeable. We can disagree without being disagreeable. We can disagree without being disagreeable. But I'm at the Riverside Art Center right now, so I got to go. I'm at the Riverside Art Center. Ypsilanti pull up, Detroit pull up, Pontiac, Inkster, Romulus, Highland Park, Flint. King Kong is here. Pull up 76 Huron Street. We're going to be here at 6, 7 o'clock talking about mental health, mental illness, spiritual rehabilitation.